guys, it's James again with another edition of Ask The Doctor. This week, I'm just answering questions from one audience member specifically, that being Jason Morgan, because he sent me 5 questions this week, so it's going to be his week for me to answer questions. I have no clue where the book of questions is, but I have his questions, so we'll get cracking on them. First question is, who is your favorite comic book artist? Hands down, it's got to be Jim Lee. There's just something about his character design, his fluid layout that's more sort of Japanese animated influence, but also in a sense, just a hint of Jack Kirby, maybe a little bit Mobius. And just a lot of detail, a lot of design. It's just, every picture is more or less like a splash page predominantly, and there's always something going on. So yeah, I've always loved Jim Lee's work. I mean, I've had other artists I liked it, like McFarlane and Madureira, but Jim Lee's always been the constant artist for me. So I've pretty much enjoyed his work throughout, without fail. So yeah. His next question is, what is your favorite holiday? My favorite holidays wasn't so much when I was young, because I used to get sick for some reason. Like, might be because of my migraines and I wouldn't eat all day. But my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. I like cooking all day. I like making a lot of food and having just relaxing, and it's relaxing for me when I'm just cooking for just say for myself or say somebody else or whatever. But if I'm doing it, I do that all morning long until like say 2 o'clock or something, when it's all done. And it's just I don't like the other holidays so much. Like, I'm not a Christmas guy. It's just basically a day off where everything's closed for me, so I don't really go for that. New Year's Day is non-existent. I always work, so it's just that's kind of pointless for me to go out. So yeah, just Thanksgiving is just something I look forward to every year. I love making the sausage stuffing. Obviously, I've talked about that before. I love making experimenting with different brines every year. So I don't know. I'm going to do this year probably just another Mountain Dew, maybe 7-Up combination with a little salt, little Tabasco sauce in it for the brine. But yeah, just I've already actually started shopping for it, so I'm really looking forward to it this year. Again. His third question is, what is your favorite movie quote? Pretty much usually someone from the Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright movies. I don't have one per se. Like, I'll say yarp all the time instead of yes for some people, like yarp, or I'll say the Sean Pegg surviving. Usually that's my greeting for when people say how are you doing, it's surviving, or like just about anything else, like you've got red on you, or the greater good, or just about anything from the 3 movies, or maybe in 4 movies if you count Paul. But it's usually anything from the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movies I go with as a quote. I like that. I think those are like the funniest movies I've seen in the last 15 years or so. So yeah, I quote them. Okay, his fourth question is, what is your comment on all the clowns? I don't get creeped out by clowns, but I don't get it. I don't get what the point is, just dressing up and just being in the shadows or something, and just staring there, or just doing whatever you're doing to just scare people for no reason. And I mean, it's going to take one of these freaking Looney Tunes to do something like stab someone or shoot someone, and then they're a good time just going to go down a toilet. But I don't see what the point is. I mean, there are better more important things to do in life. There are better things to do in life than just dress up and just stay in the shadows or stay at a distance and just stare at people like a Mamaluke. But that's my opinion. His last question is, would you ever have kids or adopt? I'm not a guy who says never say never, but I'm not really. I have a hard time even taking care of myself. So, I can't imagine someone like me, being thrust into the responsibility of having children. And I'm a nerd. Obviously, like, my father would tell me stories about how a young James Sharmack would take crayons and draw all over his comic books or whatever. So I'm not sure I would want to put myself in that position where I would come home and like say my Millennium Falcon's all drawn all over, because whatever kid would be like, I wanted to put some color in it, or my comic books are torn up or whatever, or my Superman collection just all over the floor in pieces. So it's just I wouldn't say my living environment is kid friendly. It is kid friendly, but it's not kid friendly where I mean I most of what I have is for display. Yes, because I'm that kind of a nerd, and I'm okay with that. So having a kid would probably be a very hard pill to swallow. And besides that, like I said, I'm really terrible at taking care of myself, so I don't know how I would take care of a kid without some kind of support or financial help or whatever. So yeah, I don't know how I would ever be able to take care of a kid. Okay, this is probably gonna be the last show for a while, because there's kind of been it's just some things are just falling into place. Not so much whatever, but just more of more declining interest. But that's okay, because it happens. I thank you guys for watching the shows so far, and I appreciate everybody that's asked questions and submitted things and whatnot. But sometimes you gotta realize when the horses are coming home, so you gotta close the barn. It's not to say there won't be shows down the line, but if I get questions, I'll answer them all over again. But it's been really hard trying to get questions lately. So thank you guys for watching the shows so far. I appreciate it, and I'm not going to stop doing videos. I've obviously uploaded a couple videos in the past 2 days. I'm just going to try to figure out what to start filming and whatnot, and try to branch out and see what I can do to film and put videos on. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you further on down the road.